Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So, Apple quietly dropped a new budget-friendly iPhone earlier this year, the iPhone 16e, and I've been using it daily for the past few months. It launched at Apple's February event, and at first glance it feels like they took the frame of an iPhone 14, blended in some iPhone 16 styling, and packed it with the new A18 chip and a surprisingly solid battery. My initial reaction? This feels like a phone from 2022 dressed up with some 2025 internals. And honestly, that's not a bad thing. It's familiar but fresh in all the right ways. So, is the iPhone 16e the budget iPhone we've been waiting for? Or did Apple cut too many corners? In this video, I'll break down everything: the performance, the design, battery life, and whether it's actually worth your money. Alright, let's talk about the design and build of the iPhone 16e. Apple has stuck with a familiar formula here. You're getting that aluminum chassis, squared-off edges, and a flat glass back. It feels instantly recognizable, very much in line with the design language of the iPhone 12, 13, and 14. But this time, it's been pared down. There's no flashy finish or oversized camera bump. In fact, there's just a single 48-megapixel camera on the back that sits almost flush with the body, giving it a clean, no-frills look. Up front, you've still got the notch, not the dynamic island. And color options? Just matte black or white. Pretty minimal, but kind of elegant in its own way. Now, despite being a more affordable model, the 16e doesn't feel cheap at all. It feels surprisingly solid in the hand. No plastic vibes here. It has Apple's ceramic shield on the front glass, which adds durability, and it's rated IP68 for water and dust resistance, which is great for peace of mind. One thing I really noticed, especially coming from a heavier Pro Max phone, is just how lightweight this thing is. It weighs only about 167 grams, so it's super easy to use one-handed and slides into any pocket without feeling bulky. According to McRumors, Apple even slimmed down the camera module, and yeah, you feel that difference. The weight distribution is balanced, and even after extended use, it doesn't feel tiring to hold. Apple also says this has the toughest back glass on any smartphone. And honestly, I've been using it for a few months now without a case most of the time, and still no noticeable scratches. That's impressive. Another welcome change. USB-C. No more Lightning port. It finally brings the 16th up to modern standards, and it's so much more convenient if you've got other USB-C devices. And yes, the action button replaces the mute switch here too, just like on the Pro models. You can assign it to shortcuts, camera, flashlight. I found it genuinely useful. Now, it's not all perfect. The bezels are on the thicker side for 2025, and like I mentioned, the notch is still here, so no dynamic island, no always-on display either. If you care a lot about aesthetics or having the latest UI features, that might feel a little dated. But again, if you're a fan of the iPhone 12 to 14 look, you'll feel right at home. Now onto the display. The 16e has a 6.1-inch Super Retina XDR OLED, and it's actually identical to the one used in the iPhone 14. That means a resolution of 2532 by 1170, 460 pixels per inch, with HDR support, wide color P3, and True Tone. And let me tell you, this display still looks fantastic. Blacks are deep, colors pop, and watching content on Netflix or YouTube looks vibrant and rich. The viewing angles are excellent too. Brightness-wise, Apple claims 800 nits typical and 1200 nits peak for HDR. In my experience, that holds up. Indoors, it looks great. Outdoors, even on bright days, it's legible, though definitely not as punchy as the display on the iPhone 16 Pro. The main compromise here? It's still locked to a 60 Hz refresh rate, so while the OLED quality is great, scrolling and animations don't feel quite as buttery as on a 120 Hz panel. It's not a deal-breaker, but if you're coming from a high refresh phone, you'll notice the difference. Still, for a mid-range phone, the display is plenty capable and visually stunning, just not cutting edge. This is where the iPhone 16e seriously surprised me, especially at $599. It's powered by Apple's A18 Bionic chip, the same 6-core CPU from the regular iPhone 16, along with 8 GB of RAM, a big step up from older budget iPhones. The only difference? One less GPU core, 4 versus 5. But honestly, in everyday use, it's blazing fast. Apps open instantly, multitasking is smooth, and even heavy games run well. Plus, it supports hardware-accelerated ray tracing, which is crazy at this price. What impressed me more is how cool it stays. Even during long gaming sessions, it only got slightly warm. No major throttling. It launched with iOS 18.3, and I'm now on 18.5. Everything feels stable and polished. I did notice a small app crash early on, but it was fixed quickly. And yes, Apple Intelligence is here. Since it has the A18, you get all the new smart features out of the box. They work seamlessly. All the usual iPhone perks like Face ID, AirDrop, iMessage, and iCloud Sync work perfectly. And with Apple's typical 5+ years of updates, the 16E is future-proof into the 2030s. That's serious value. All right, let's talk cameras. The iPhone 16e comes with a single 48-megapixel rear camera. Apple calls it a fusion camera, and a 12-megapixel front-facing selfie shooter. So no ultra-wide or telephoto lenses here. Just one main wide-angle lens that handles both 1x and 2x cropped zoom. Apple markets this as a 2-in-1 setup. But let's be real, you won't be capturing true ultra-wide shots or getting optical zoom beyond that 2x crop. Now, how does that single lens perform? In good lighting, it's actually really solid. Photos in bright daylight are sharp, detailed, and punchy with vibrant colors. The iPhone's image processing still shines, even with this more limited hardware. But in low light or night conditions, you'll notice the limitations. Shadows tend to lose detail. It can struggle with highlights, overexposing some parts while leaving others too dark. It's not terrible, but you'll see the difference compared to higher-end models. Video performance is impressive for the price. It shoots up to 4K at 60 frames per second on both the front and rear cameras, and even supports Dolby Vision HDR. Daylight videos are sharp and well-stabilized. But again, night video tends to be softer and grainier. Overall, the camera is solid but simple. Great in good light, but limited by its single lens setup. Now, let's talk about battery life. And honestly, it's been surprisingly impressive. The iPhone 16e packs a 4005 mAh battery, which is actually a bit bigger than the one in the regular iPhone 16. Combine that with the efficient A18 chip, and what you get is a phone that easily lasts a full day and beyond. In my typical daily use, emails, web browsing, social media scrolling, music streaming, and a bit of video, I consistently end the day with around 30 to 40% left. Even on heavier days, I never felt battery anxiety. Charging is done via USB-C. No charger in the box, classic Apple. But using a 20-watt adapter, I got about 31% in 15 minutes and 57% in 30 minutes. A full charge took me just under 1 hour and 50 minutes. Not lightning fast, but reasonable. It also supports wireless charging, though only basic key at 7.5 watts. No MagSafe here, which is a small miss. After using it for months, my verdict? The iPhone 16e is a reliable, balanced daily driver. It performs well, feels great in the hand, and battery life truly stands out. The camera's limitations are real, but in everyday use it gets the job done. It's just a phone that works, and works well. So, is the iPhone 16e worth it in 2025? Well, it really depends on what matters most to you. For the average user, someone who wants a fast, reliable iPhone with excellent battery life and isn't too concerned about pro-level photography, the 16e is a very smart choice. You're getting flagship performance thanks to the A18 chip, great battery life, and all the benefits of Apple's clean, polished ecosystem. If you're upgrading from an iPhone 12, 13, or even an older SE, this will feel like a big leap forward. And let's not forget Apple's long-term iOS support. That means this phone will stay up to date and secure well into the 2030s. Now, if you're a tech enthusiast, things get a bit more nuanced. You'll definitely appreciate the performance and efficiency, but you might feel the absence of a 120 Hz refresh rate, multiple rear cameras, or MagSafe. It's a minimal iPhone, and that's by design. For the budget-conscious, It's a compelling but slightly tricky buy. At $599, it's cheap by Apple standards, but competitors like the Pixel 9a or Galaxy S24 FE offer more features on paper, like higher refresh rates or better low-light camera setups. But they don't have Apple's A18 chip or that guaranteed iOS longevity. So here's my take. If you're a student, a parent, or just someone looking for a reliable, long-lasting iPhone without spending over $1,000, the 16e is easy to recommend. It's not flashy, but it's dependable, and it delivers the core iPhone experience really well. If you already own an iPhone 14 or 15, you're probably fine waiting for the 17. But overall, the iPhone 16e is a quietly excellent phone. It proves Apple can still make a budget model that feels premium where it matters most. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you found this helpful, drop a like and subscribe. I've got more tech reviews on the way. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.